One of our group members suffered a stroke and struggled to remember their own name or read. Whilst they remain forever grateful to the NHS for the care they received, there was nobody to support them with the major life-changing that affected their mental health. It is ironic that somebody finding it difficult to read is handed a stroke book as a means of information. As much as this book contained useful information, working with the person to understand their individual needs is key to promoting recovery in the whole person.
Another one of our group members have suffered from incredible dark thoughts, such as waiting to overdose and end her life. When she found the courage to speak to her GP about those thoughts, she felt as if they did not take her serious because she was not screaming or crying. She was given the impression that they felt she was off her head. Sadly, this made her feel even less vulnerable, particularly when supplied with a prescription for 2 months' dose of antidepressants. Furthermore, she was provided with a number from the Prime Mental Health team, and having had the negative experience, took another 4 weeks to regain the courage to make that call. The group member feels that the GP listened, had made the referral on her behalf, that this would have reduced the additional anxiety. Unfortunately, this is not an isolated incident and highlighted the experience of so many people. If anybody is having thoughts of ending their own life, whether they have made a plan to action these thoughts or not, they are clearly showing poor mental health. Immediate intervention is vital to reduce the high suicide rate while promoting positive mental health.
Another one of our members was due to undergo a mastectomy and was invited into hospital to view an explanatory video. On arrival, the nurse stated that she would be leaving the member to watch the video themselves as they found the video too traumatising. While it is clearly good practice to enable people to be informed of the procedure they will be facing, this must be done in a way that offers reassurance to the person who is about to face life-changing surgery. Following the operation, while still in recovery, the member regained consciousness to find a nurse injecting her with something and asked what it was. She was told that her body had gone into shock and that she had nearly died during surgery. Not to worry and to go back to sleep. Ever since that has happened, she has tried to find out exactly what took place, and no one has been able to answer her questions. She has even requested her medical notes, but has been unable to understand them due to the medical jargon contained within them, which has left her mentally exhausted. Furthermore, whenever the member now has to visit the hospital, she tries to explain what happened previously, but feels she is never taken seriously and that the doctors look at her as if she's crazy. Undoubtedly, the trauma of undergoing mastectomy would have a negative and mental impact, but the standards of practice have heightened anxiety and a negative impact on confidence and self-esteem. The group member expressed that had somebody that communicated what had happened in an honest way. They could better understand what it means for them, enabling them to process the situation.
Prior to joining the group, another one of our members who suffers from bipolar disorder was reliant on a range of medication. Having joined the group, this person was able to reduce their medication to 1 tablet a day, and their psychiatrist was impressed with the considerable work they had been able to do themselves. At the start of lockdown, the member lost the entire support network that kept them well and had begun to become increasingly manic. When seeking help, her usual psychiatrist was unavailable, and the replacement, without reading her notes properly or knowing her as a person, prescribed incredibly powerful medication, even though the member was adamant they did not want it. The medication caused the person to feel as if they were doped up to the eyeballs, as well as causing slurred speech and distress. It took considerable determination from the group member, the original psychiatrist, reducing her medication, as well as support from her family and peers to enable the person to feel themselves again. This is another example where a member felt unheard and the impact had devastating consequences which could have been easily avoided. The member strongly believes that their own psychiatrist should have been contacted, their notes should have been read, but most importantly, their views should have been considered. Any medical interaction should be 50-50 partnership, with all parties seen as having equal expertise.
Another one of our group members has struggled with alcohol addiction the majority of her adult life. They have been involved with addiction services which have provided some positive support in terms of help with understanding the health effects of alcohol and the ripple effect this has on her family and loved ones. However, addiction services are designed to keep a person within their services, so they are constantly surrounded by their addiction and consequences, which promotes a negative cycle of relapse on the services. Having moved away from this type of support and becoming involved in a peer-led support group, this member has been able to build a positive support network combined with programs that build skill and confidence, enabling this person to live the life they choose.
One of our group members has suffered from trauma, anxiety and depression for most of their lives. In 2019 they were attacked in their own home with a knife and a hammer, causing many of their past traumas that they had worked hard to overcome to resurface. This meant that the person's mental health suffered severely and they sought support with their increased anxiety and suicidal thoughts. Their GP was helpful in signposting them to professional support, which unfortunately never materialised. Had it not been for her family and the group, this member might not be here now. Trauma has a disastrous effect on mental health, and when somebody finds the courage to seek help, it should be readily available. As much as the GP was helpful, 10 to 20 minutes to explain that I want to kill myself and the trauma behind that is nowhere near enough. Furthermore, people who experience trauma are often provided with 6 to 12 week time frames to receive therapy, which is inadequate. Ample time is required for the person to work through and process their thoughts and feelings before changes in behaviour patterns can be made.
See me, listen, be honest, help me understand, and remember I am an expert in your professional hands.
See me, listen, be honest, help me understand, and remember, I'm an expert in your professional hands.
See me, listen, be honest, help me understand, and remember I am an expert in your professional hands.
See me, listen, be honest, help me understand, and remember I am an expert in your professional hands.
See me, listen, be honest, help me understand, and remember I'm an expert in your professional hands.
See me, listen, be honest, help me understand, and remember I am an expert in your professional hands.
See me, listen, be honest, help me understand, and remember I am an expert in your professional hands.